What you might have forgot, Peter, is this is not The Bachelor. And I don't have to kiss your ass for a rose.
Welcome back to another recap of Traitors, episode 9. I'm Lauren.
I'm Stephanie, and we say that this is a good one every single time, but this really is. I'm so excited to talk to you about it.
It was so good. I know I'm not supposed to jump to the end, but I just have to say I screamed.
The ending. The ending.
The ending.
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Yes, we start at the beginning.
Kate gets her offer, or, you know, kind of an ultimatum.
It was a total ultimatum.
Be a traitor or die.
Oh.
So what is your answer? I accept.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I think she would have picked being a traitor either way. She is destined to be a traitor. That's the thing. If you guys know Kate from Below Deck, I feel like she's just so savvy in that way. She's really quick. So it's no surprise that I'm not surprised Phaedra picked her to begin with.
Follow me, because we've got to murder someone.
Ooh.
I didn't know that they were going to get to murder.
I didn't either. We were both surprised.
But this is a really tricky choice because they're choosing between, obviously, like all of Peter's pals, basically, except for John. And they want to go for Peter, but they think that Peter has a shield, which he doesn't. They're wrong.
Right.
So they're choosing between Kevin, who would be a successful murderer, or Trishelle,
who has the shield, and no one knows.
So this could be Bergie 2.0, and we know what happened with Bergie-gate. Like,
not
that
my Burgalicious.
I am praying watching this that they make the right move here.
Yes, and now they do make the right move.
Don't be so excited to see me.
Ah, boy, it's Kevin. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's sus.
Now there's only 3 people left in Peter's pals.
Right. It's John, Trishelle, and Peter himself.
Yeah.
So their numbers are dwindling, and
it's no longer even. It's...
Right. There was a time where it was like a house divided, but now all of the power is on the Bravo girls' side. And Peter's pals are just diminishing by the minute. And we see this at breakfast where everyone is talking about how much suspicion is on Peter.
Peter, he's a liar.
Yeah. Okay, you called him when you called him out and said, wait, so 1 minute it's 100% poverty. The next minute he was protecting poverty. And then she ends up being a traitor. I just think your credibility just goes out the window at that point.
I don't believe anything.
I just think he's playing the game too much.
Right. I think he just assumed, oh, everyone like knows I'm a faithful, thinks I'm a faithful, so I can do some of these trickier moves. But then he forgot to like clue in the other side of the house, so they're all very suspicious of him, and honestly, understandably so.
Rightfully so.
As viewers, we know why Peter is making these moves, but he doesn't telegraph it to everybody.
No,
so this is really hard. So honestly, Peter only has himself to blame here.
Ooh.
And I love how Phaedra has been like leading the charge to get Peter out too and put the suspicion on him. Like if she wants to survive, that is what she has to do, is to put suspicion on other people, and she is so good at that. I loved at the last roundtable, she called out the backroom deal that he did with Parvati, and that like put him on everyone's radar.
Yeah.
Even Kevin was like, should I trust Peter now?
Yeah. That was a turning point, and that still continues, that narrative continues into this episode.
I'm freaking out. I've got to get my together. I'm a faithful. Peter is a traitor.
Kate is really trying to stay focused. She did say off camera that she's not a good liar. And then Mercedes comes in and is like, Kate, what's up with you? Your energy is a little bit different. You're like looking blank in the room. You know, what's going on?
It must be whiplash, a transition from being a faithful to being a traitor. And Kate's clearly doing the best that she can. And I love the sound bites of her saying, like, how would a faithful eat salmon?
Yeah.
Like, she's overthinking it a little bit, and I hope that she gets to, you know, lean in and has time.
Right.
They're not gonna vote for Phaedra, so it's gonna be one of us up for banishment tonight.
Oh, banishment?
Yeah.
So Trishelle, John, and Peter are in this tricky spot. They basically, after breakfast, are looking around and being like, we're the only 3 people. And in order to like have a decision at the banishment that goes our way, we need 2 extra votes with us.
Didn't Trishelle say at one point too after breakfast that like they are doomed?
Right.
Yeah. She said one of them is going to get banished and that they are doomed.
Like their numbers are already down. They need to start pulling people over and getting some swing votes
Which is
going.
hard because they've been so to themselves for weeks now, where like Mercedes would walk in and they would be like, oh, do not come in, you know, like it's private. So why then would people then come to their side?
Exactly. I feel like they're
played it too
reaping what
hard.
they sowed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so this is going to be tough to get people on their side after everything that's gone down. They identify that CT and Sandra might be the two most likely people to side with them. But then Peter talks to CT, and CT is like, no, man, I've got my eye on you.
Yeah.
You're leaning towards me?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I just don't believe anything you say, man.
What do you mean?
And all the smoke and mirrors that the politics and the booby traps.
Oh, boy.
And you're not consistent at all.
Dude, that's my strategy.
So let's talk about the challenge.
Yes.
The challenge was way better than last week's challenge.
To complete the mission, you must break every window until just one name remains. The one player whose name remains intact and unshattered at the end of our mission will claim a precious shield and be protected from tonight's murder.
It really shows who your allies are and who you're targeting. If you can aim,
And
which they could not.
They could not aim. That's what I was thinking the whole time watching this. I'm like, is it that hard? Because they lost how much money? Like thousands of dollars before they even were able to crack one.
I think they should have made the challenge a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Probably handling the crossbow was hard. It was so funny to me that when Sheree's thing got hit, even Sheree jumped up and cheered.
Yeah.
Because finally they just wanted to stop losing money.
Finally. So they were going one by one, and basically each player was going after one another, and they were all focused in on one because they were like, at this point, let's just try to get some money. And then Phaedra comes up, and after, I will say it was CT, they were trying to get CT's name, and it was very unsuccessful for like at least 5 times. Phaedra's like, I'm gonna just change the course, and maybe she even called CT a vampire. She's like, maybe he just can't die.
He's not gonna die.
He's not gonna die. And so she moves it to Trishelle.
Red flag, you're a traitor, you have completely screwed up the game and screwed everyone else in the process out of money just to purposefully keep me from getting the shield.
I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, then she just went down.
I didn't think that it was as big of a tell as Trishelle did. I think Trishelle is poised at this point to see anything that Phaedra does as proof that she's a traitor, because she already has this list of all of her reasons.
Yeah.
And I thought that, like, Trishelle has been gunning for Phaedra, whether she's a faithful or a traitor. I don't think Phaedra would want Trishelle in the game, because Phaedra wants to get to the end no matter if she's a faithful or a traitor. Ultimately, CT gets the shield, and he should be happy, but in his head, he's thinking, oh, that was a tip-off for me, too. I think that Phaedra is a traitor because she moved the position of the crossbow, and I think that Sandra's a traitor because she suggested that Phaedra do that.
Yeah.
So he thinks that that's suspicious, and he's right on one of those counts. Phaedra is a traitor. And I was surprised because CT and Phaedra have been like peanut butter and jelly. They're the showmans of the season. I love them so much.
They're the showmans. Have you seen all those like tweets and stuff? Everyone is shipping them. I don't know if either of them are like single and would date, but
I would watch it.
I would watch it.
But now they're not even working together. He is turning against her, which surprises me more than anything, because Phaedra has invested so much into building that relationship with CT. She gave him the fire
but then at
that
the end of the
torch
day,
ceremony.
he has that history with Trishelle.
Pretty sure they want to prevent you from getting the shields. So I'm like thinking to myself, you guys are traitors.
He's talking to Trishelle and her allies and is basically like, I'm going to vote with you. So now they only need one more vote. So Peter's like, hey, why don't I grab Phaedra, bring her to another room, have a one-on-one with her. And this is the perfect opportunity for Trishelle to go in there and talk to the Bravo ladies and pitch this idea of maybe Phaedra isn't who you think she is.
Phaedra has 4 people that will never see evidence. It's like y'all have blind loyalty to her.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I didn't come to this castle to win a personality test with these ladies. And if any of us do that, we're all gonna lose.
MJ was like, I'm going to be thoughtful about this. I'm not just going with my allies. But I think that Phaedra has put so much time and energy into building those relationships.
Especially with the women, especially with the Bravo women. She has this relationship.
They have a history. There's so many reasons for them to trust her. And I think she's doing a good job selling it. So this is going to be a hard sell for Trishelle to the other women.
Totally.
All of the drama comes to a head at this roundtable.
And it was so good, the roundtable. So it's basically Phaedra versus Peter.
I don't like how you play the game because it's all about me, me, me. Ooh. So I don't have to answer to you when you come to me saying, convince me that you are not a traitor. So that's where you got me messed up.
So John starts the conversation and he's breaking down the reasons why he thinks it's Phaedra. And one of the things he says is that Phaedra has been playing an amazing under the radar game, like never really popping her head out too much, laying low in a way that could paint her as a traitor. And that is the game that she's playing. But I'm surprised that he can see it that way.
Yeah, but she fires back, as we know and love Phaedra to do. Because you guys can't forget, she's a lawyer. She is so quick-witted with that. And oh my God, we have seen her in the last couple of weeks sound off, but I feel like this week,
she brought the fire.
She brought the heat, which we love.
What those two traitors, who you so eloquently said you banished, had in common is both of them were in collusion with your romance friend, Peter. So what does that really mean? If you're such a traitor hunter, why aren't you talking about that? And since you so eloquently defend him, he likes me so much now, he wants to work with me.
John's other main argument is that Dan and Parvati are connected to Phaedra, because they both voted to banish Phaedra. But Phaedra claps back and is like, the other thing that connects Dan and Parvati is the fact that Peter was colluding with them. And then Peter was also colluding with me in the one-on-one when he drew me away today.
Which, I don't know if he was, but I love it.
That's the perfect thing to get people thinking.
Yeah, because they saw them go into a room together.
It makes it seem like it's a pattern of behavior on his part, whether it's true or not. And I think it really was the smartest thing that she said at that roundtable.
I don't know if it was the smartest thing. I think the smartest thing was telling Peter that she's not gonna kiss his ass because it's not The Bachelor.
We have evidence in this game. The evidence about the Berge shield block. Why would I have misfired on a murder to Berge? So that alone proves I can't be a traitor.
He is defending himself really successfully, in my opinion, but it's hard to say if other people are going to buy it. When everyone's saying, oh, well, why were you working with Parvati? He has the perfect answer that makes total sense. Faithfuls don't have a lot of control over their own fate in the game. So really the best strategy for a faithful is to find a traitor, pretend that you don't suspect them so they bring you to the end, and then surprise them at the fire of truth at the end and vote them out.
Right.
So that's what he was trying to do with Parvati, who they described as a wounded bird. She didn't have as many allies. So that'd be easier to do with someone like Parvati rather than someone like Phaedra. So I can see why he did that, but it's reading as suspicious to everybody.
It's suspicious.
Or at least the majority of the castle.
Yeah.
And he needs to pull some votes, so it's going to be hard to do.
Guys, we don't get this right tonight. Traitors win the game.
Let's talk about the voting, though.
It's close.
Close.
So close.
Yes.
And it all comes down to MJ.
I feel like, she hasn't really made a big impact on this game yet, and this is going to be such an impactful decision. Who do you think she's going to pick?
I think the most likely scenario here is that Phaedra will live another day, and this is going to be the end of Peter's game.
Yeah.
Because Phaedra has put in the time with MJ. She's mounted these really good arguments, and I don't know that Peter has put in any time with MJ. If you remember from that famous scene, MJ walked in and Peter told her, can we have some more time? And I think that if that had gone differently, maybe MJ would vote differently. But that would be my theory as to what happens, is that Peter's name is on her thing and he goes home.
Ooh, it was such a good episode. Well, we will just have to wait and see. It's going to be so good. Okay. But until then, you have a big interview tomorrow with Kevin.
So tell me if you guys have any questions.
Yes.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.